Sandy LaFleur here, and today we're going to work on this mixed media piece for Halloween. It's called You're Never Too Old to Beg for Candy, and it's strictly mixed media. There's no painting. You only need one brush, and that's because you need to apply some decoupage. The surface is a 5x6 wooden surface that I got at Hobby Lobby in a package of 6 of them, relatively cheap, so you could make yourself a ton of these. I'm going to list the supplies that you'll need to do this, and so you can do your own. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to do, of course, is get out your surface. And then you're going to pick a Halloween napkin that you want to use for your background. So I ran out of the napkins that I had on the original one, so I'm going to go ahead and use this one, which I think will be pretty good. And the napkins are always 2 or 3 ply, so you want to be sure that you separate the printed ply from the other 2 plies. And the easiest way I've found to do that is to just tear one edge off the napkin, and that just makes it a little easier for you to get those separated. Now this one will probably fight me because it's on video, but no, there we go. So you can see it comes apart relatively easy. If you try to get it from the corner here, it takes too long. So there, I've removed the backing. This one was only 2 ply, so that's kind of nice. But watch them, because some of them are 3 ply. And then what I'm going to use is I'm going to use Decoupage Matte Medium. I like the matte because it doesn't get slick and shiny, and I can put patterns on if I need to. And now I use Decoupage Medium so often that I keep mine in a big container like this. So what I'm going to do is, with my large brush, I am going to give this wood piece a coat of the Decoupage Medium. Now it doesn't have to be a thick coat because this napkin is really thin. If you were like adhering scrapbook paper to this piece, you would want to put a little bit more on, and you'd probably want to put it on the back of the scrapbook paper. But since it's not very thick, we're going to go ahead and do it with just a thin coat. So you just put the decoupage on, and wrinkles and stuff are fine. So we're just going to put that on there, flatten it out. It doesn't have to be straight. You can make it cockeyed, whatever you want to do. And I'm an impatient painter, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and dry this. Since it's thin, a thin coat, it's going to dry relatively quickly. So, and I love to use my Ranger heated craft tool, because it's nice and quiet. I can use it while I'm doing videos, and it doesn't like blister paint or anything like that unless you hold it up really close to it. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take an emery board or a nail file, and I'm just going to file off the excess napkin. And this is the quickest and easiest way I found to do this. So if you have an old emery board laying around, this is what it's for. Alright, nice. Alright, now on this original piece, I added another little piece of napkin, a different napkin, just to add interest to the background, and I also used some tissue paper that had a print on it. So here again, with this napkin, I'm going to separate the plies. This one's going to come off pretty easy, I think. And I shouldn't talk before I do it, right? And I'm not going to cover the whole thing, so I'm just going to tear a strip off. And I'll set that aside. Get my decoupage out again. And just, again, a thin coat across here. And I kind of like this, that it has this white underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and keep that. And again, I'm going to smooth it out. Now I'm going to go and find my piece of tissue paper. Now this came in a gift that I got one time. So I hang on to things like that. So let's see. I'm going to tear a piece like this. And that's a little bit bigger than I want. So, and a little bit more decoupage on here. And then I'm just going to lay that tissue paper on there and smooth it out. I do want to give this napkin and this little bit of tissue paper a coat of decoupage on the top, just to keep it adhered good to the surface. And let's see, okay, cool. All right, so let's dry that. And I love that I'm getting little wrinkles in here. Because wrinkles give it character, and that's what this is all about, is adding interest and character to your background. All right. And again, I'm going to get rid of that excess. Right, so there we go. I think that looks pretty interesting already. So one of the next things I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp on the background with some little Halloween stamps that I found. We're just adding some interest to the background, so we don't need to stamp a whole lot, but just something to give it some more character. So there. Stamp over here. Got some bats here. I'm going to use those. And these aren't the focal points, so don't worry about them too much. All right, cool. That's enough. And you don't notice them a whole lot, but they're there and they add interest. All right, I like to use washi tape. And so here I put the washi tape along this edge here. But you can put it any direction you want. So I think I'm going to use this washi tape because it has a little bit of orange and yellow in it. And I'm going to make it go just a little bit crooked across here. Now if you're lucky, you get washi tape that is really sticky. Sometimes washi tape doesn't have quite as much stick as I like, so then you would want to put a coat of decoupage over it. And here again, I'm just going to file off the excess. All right. This is a really quick project if you have all the supplies handy. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add this corrugated cardboard background. I just wanted something to add another texture and to raise the picture up a little bit. And so this is just a box that I got in the mail. I'm sure you guys get Amazon boxes. I mean, here's this piece that still has the stickers on it. And the easiest way I found to peel this backing off, if you get a nice box, it comes off really easy. But if you don't, you can always take a pencil or a pen, or I have this little pokey thing. I don't know what it's called. But I just pry it up and pull it off. And you just want to expose that corrugated inside, okay? And then I'm going to, and I actually like it when there's little pieces of the cardboard left on there. I just want to rip this cardboard. I don't know if I ripped that big enough. Let's try a different piece. Let me rip it a little bit bigger. Okay, so I think that will work. Tear a little bit off down here. There we go. Yeah, I think that's good. And because decoupage is basically glue, what you can do is put some decoupage on the back of your cardboard and put a little on your surface where you're going to put this, and then put it down. And it will glue it into place. Don't flatten it out completely because you still want to have that corrugated texture. Okay? Alright. Cool. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to find a picture of an old person. Now all I did was Google vintage old women photos. And I came up with all kinds of these photos that I printed out, and I put them into ovals that were about 2 inches. What you want to do is just kind of measure your piece and figure out where you want it. So you can find lots of great photos on Google, like this lady. Some of them are just kind of funny. So she's kind of scary. Anyway, but I'm going to go ahead and use this lady. And I am going to just cut her out. And this is just printed on regular old paper. And I actually think I need to make her oval just a little bit smaller. So I'm going to cut off a little bit of her dress. Just want to make sure it fits on that cardboard piece good. And then scrapbook paper. I'm sure we all have a little bit of scrapbook paper here. And I decided I wanted to go with some purple this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut out some scrapbook paper just to make a frame around her. It's really easy. If you need to draw it on, you can. But really, the fact that it's not cut perfectly oval or straight is fine. Alright, I think that's going to look good. So I'm going to go ahead and again decoupage the picture of my old lady, which will probably be me when I get older. Again, it doesn't need to be a lot because this is a thin piece of paper. I'm going to decoupage that onto that. And then I wanted a background kind of piece. So I'm just going to kind of guess at what size it needs to be. And you could cut this with regular scissors, or I have a whole bunch of these little scissors that have like zigzags or whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. So even if you have a little book of Halloween scrapbook paper, that would work really great for this. Cool. Alright. Let me see. Yeah, I think that'll be good. So again, I'm going to decoupage the picture to this scrapbook paper. And then I'm going to decoupage this scrapbook paper to the corrugated cardboard. It's kind of nice that decoupages the glue so you don't have to have a whole bunch of supplies. Okay, so pressing it down so it gets adhered to that good. All right, that looks great. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the lettering. Now, I just printed this out on my computer. The font that I used is called Animal Crackers, but you could go through and just use a font that you have already installed on your computer. And what I'm going to do is, I think this was like a size 36 font. I'm just going to cut out each word individually. And I kind of cut it close. I keep them looking like rectangles. I don't cut around the shape of the letter. But first I cut it so that I trim off a lot of the white. And then I'm going to just cut each individual word out. I love to do lettering like this. It's so easy. You don't have to deal with paint and lettering and having a steady hand, which is a good thing today because I haven't had enough caffeine yet. All right. And now what you're going to do is you're going to glue, decoupage this lettering on here. And so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to give this a little coat of decoupage, and then I'm going to put this lettering on here. And don't line it up like little soldiers. Make it go cockeyed. So, easy peasy. And then you want to give it a quick thin coat of decoupage to adhere it. All right. Now, you can always find buttons, if you have old buttons, or let's see, charms. I have some little pumpkin charms, some little keys. Let's see, I want to get that bigger key. Just any kind of little thing that you want to add just to glitz it up. Let's see, I have buttons, I have stickers. So, now, let's see, I think, and the best place I've found to get stickers really cheap is if you have a place called Tuesday Morning. Now, I have to decide, this is Halloween portrait. Do I want that or do I want Trick or Treat? I think I'll go with Trick or Treat. These are a little bit thicker, but they're already sticky on the back. So I can just put that on there. And again, my decoupage is glue, so I'm going to use it to glue my little pumpkin in place. Let's see, I'm going to put the little pumpkin there. And it's going to take a little while for it to stick. It'll be okay. You're going to get messy, you're going to get decoupage on you, but it'll be okay. It washes off. Oh, come on. I'm going to quit picking it up. Alright, and I wanted this little key on there too. So I'm going to dab some decoupage on the back. And do I want the key? Where do I want the key? I'll put it right there. So I'm going to block have a lot, because this is an uneven surface here. It's going to dry clear, so it'll be okay. If you prefer to use regular glue, you can. Okay. And then let's see. I want to add some detail with a Sharpie, like just around here, and it doesn't have to be pretty, it can be scribbles. Just something to add some more interest. And if you wanted to, you could write on the background, whatever you'd like to do. Now let's add some buttons. Let's see. I like this orange. I got these buttons from a place called Queen and Company. And I just love them because I get sparkly ones, stripy ones, ones with stars. Where did my brush go? Oh, it's right in front of me. So I'm going to pick up some decoupage, put it on the back of my button. I'll put a sparkly orange button up there. Let's see. I kind of like these. Oh, here's a cute one. Let's see, maybe right there. And let's see. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. If you have stuff in your stash, you could just glue it to there. It doesn't matter. It's just whatever you want to do. Let's see. What else? There has to be something else. Oh, here's a little cute little heart. I'll put up here. All right. So now you could keep adding things, or you could call this done. What you want to do is make sure the glue dries. And I had previously poked a couple of holes in the top corners because the surface comes without holes, or you could always drill holes later. But that was an easy peasy mixed media piece. Oh, one more thing. I always like to do this to my lettering, and it's okay because it needed to be dry before I did it. These squares, you need to outline them just to make the lettering stand out. So just with your Sharpie or your Identa pen, and it doesn't have to be a neat outline. You just need to finish off those squares. All right, there we go. Now you can call it done, or you just can keep adding things. The more the merrier. You could do this larger, like on an 8x10 canvas, or a piece of wood that you have, a stash. But this is just a really cute little quick project that you could make, and I think it would probably sell well at craft shows. So gather your goodies together and let's get creating. Thanks so much.